So Alex, how is the school teaching going with your computer and all your kids?
Guess she didn't hear you.
No,
I heard you, so you're not muted.
no, that's good.
Yeah.
Okay, we should be all set, Dean.
Okay, yeah, I see our little icon in the corner there, so I guess we're just about right on time for our meeting. So we'll call this meeting to order. Everyone has their agenda package. Item 1 on our agenda is adoption of the minutes. I wasn't at the last meeting. It looked like it was a pretty busy meeting. Did anyone have any comments or corrections or questions from those minutes? Okay, none. I would ask for a mover to approve the minutes, please.
Tari also move.
Okay, and may I have a seconder, please?
I'll second. It's Alicia.
Okay, thank you, Alicia. All in favor? We'll just put our hands up. Okay. Item number 2, declaration of pecuniary interest. Does anyone have a conflict of interest to declare? Okay, there's none noted. And then item number 3, the adoption of our agenda. As I say, we have it in front of us. Does anyone have any questions about it? If not, I ask for a mover, please.
I'll just add the item about the Algonquin Hotel.
Okay. Jamie, are you going to move on that? Oh, okay, Alex, thank you. Alex is a mover. A seconder, please.
It's Matt Shoemaker. I'll move it. Or second it, sorry.
Okay, all in favor? All right, item number 4, our business arising. We have our subcommittee task force updates. Looks like Jamie, you get to go first. You're 5.1 on your heritage calendar. How's that going?
Okay, so we have, we're going to get one last print copy from Bill. And Virginia, would you like me to deliver a copy to you so you can see it before we finalize it?
That'd be great, Jamie, if that's okay.
Okay, so, and if anybody wants to see I could send the PDF copy to everybody of the next version. So there are 2 questions that are lingering from the version that Bill and I are looking at now. And one of them is whether, I don't know, Virginia, do you want me to share my screen? Would that be helpful at all? I can bring up the 2 questions that I want to ask, I can bring up on the screen. Or you can, because you've got the same file, Virginia. You could bring it up on your screen. I can't hear you.
You're muted, Virginia.
Yeah, no, sorry, I don't have the files on my desk. I have a laptop for Zoom, so it's just on my desktop.
Well, we don't have to bring it up on the screen, but so one question is whether the captions under the pictures are left justified or centered. And at the moment they're centered, and I guess my preference would be that they're left justified, but we can just, if anybody has a strong opinion about that, probably not at this point. You wouldn't believe the conversations that Bill and I are having. Okay, last comment. there's a page where we have a picture of the Shingwalk Residential School. And the text on that page was heavily edited by Dean Sayers, as you can imagine, Chief Sayers at Batchewana First Nations. And Bill's question is whether we want to add text to that page based on the recent, discovery of, I forget the name of the community. Is it Kelowna or where they found graves of children? Anyway, my feeling is that I don't want to edit this calendar with anything that's current event. Virginia?
I would just say it may be something that we could pass back through Chief Sayers and as well as Kristen McCracken, as she oversees the Shingwalk Residential School. So I think we may need to take a look at that.
Yeah, because we did
get some additional input in light of recent events.
That's a good idea. I can do that. We did get the photograph from her, so she's already familiar with the project.
I think it'd be best to get the opinion of people that are, have a lot more knowledge in that area.
Yeah, me too. That's my feeling. But yeah, okay, so I can ask them. And then the only page that we are still working on is the railway bridge page, where the text that's in the caption it needs to be removed. But other than that, where I think if he and I meet over the next 2 days, we can probably finish it this week. And then Virginia,
I think the overall caption captures what you need to say. I personally feel that all you should have is identification of each picture and let it go at that. But if there's copyright or something that can't be changed, then that's you can't control that. So.
No, so what he's done, like the text that is in for the railroad bridge page, the text under the picture is duplicated in the write-up at the bottom. So he really just needs to remove the duplicate text and then just have a label, the name of the bridge, and then give the source information. So it'll look a lot better once he's done that. But anyway, every time I see it, it looks better. But Virginia, when I get a print copy from him, I'll bring it by your office for the final approval.
Yeah, you can bring it by there. You can send me the PDF. My office is at the Northern Community Center right now, so.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, just because we have to spread out, so.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll let you know when I have a print copy.
Sounds good.
Yeah, and then we can talk about how many copies we're printing and all of that. Are we still aiming for a July 3rd distribution?
I think that'd be great if we can get it ready for then.
Okay.
Okay. Anyone have any comments or questions for Jamie? Well, thanks for all that hard work, Jamie. I'm looking forward to the publication of that calendar.
Yes, I'm looking forward to that too.
Okay. Item 5.2 under business arising, the heritage plaque review. I see we're planning to have a meeting of our subcommittee on June 14th. And that was very comprehensive, all the plaques in one file. I haven't looked at all of them yet, Virginia, but I'm looking forward to our meeting.
Yeah, and just so the rest of the committee knows as well, Kathy Surrett from the IFC will be joining the committee. So I'm excited about having her involved with the project as well.
Okay. Moving to 5.3 on our agenda, properties of interest. Virginia, are you going to start with that?
Yeah, I can give a bit of an update. So we actually have a meeting on Tuesday coming up next week. We've been able to get all of the mailing labels compiled. There's just 3 that we have to confirm ownership on, so the mailing labels are ready. I have a workshop with our clerks department for learning Zoom webinars. So that's the software that they use to conduct the open houses with regards to voter engagement. So we'll be using that software when we have our information sessions available. And we're working on kind of the overview letter and frequently asked questions, and working on getting that layout ready for the information sessions. So we'll be going over some of those materials next week at our meeting.
Okay, that's great. Anyone have any questions or inquiries about that?
Yep, talk to you later.
Okay, item number 6, new business. And did you have anything at all, Virginia?
You have to unmute Virginia. I can't hear you.
I keep muting because there's background noise in here. Sorry. Yeah, so now the agenda, you'll see you always have 2 pages. So there's always a second page to the agenda package, just with the new software that we're using in eScribe. So 6.1 is the Heritage Property Tax Rebate Program application that we received from for 143 McGregor Avenue, which was included in your package.
Is this because it's new owners, Virginia?
Yes, correct. So the, sorry, if I don't move for a long time, my lights go out, they're motion censored. Yes, new ownership at the property. So the previous owners were enrolled in the program, but in order to be, they had to submit an application for it, so.
Okay, I'll so move then.
Okay, thank you, Harvey. May I have
I'll
a
second.
seconder, please?
I'll second.
Sean, thank you. All in favor?
Right. Carried.
Okay, and here on 6.2, we have the Heritage Property Grant for the Algonquin Hotel. Everyone received that extra little email from Virginia yesterday. I think it's pretty self-explanatory. That's certainly some areas of the Algonquin Hotel that needed looking at for the last couple of years.
Just a small point of clarification. The east extension of the building, in other words, the section that sticks out on the east side is not part of the designated building. It was added on more recently. I don't think it changes the application or whether we should approve it or not in any way, but it's just a point of clarification.
Right.
Right. I have a question just about like the costs of the maybe you could help me out. The costs for the project are like just under 10,000, I think. But I saw that private funds are 10,000, and of course the Heritage Committee grant is 3,000. So what is that? Are they just kind of looking to supplement the project, or?
Yeah, sorry, I can help answer that. So I think they didn't do the math correctly. I think what they're looking for is to offset the cost of the project. So they're looking for 3,000. The total project actually is going to exceed 5,000 once the taxes are in. As well, if you note on the thing, this does not include the lift rental. So they are having to pay in addition to the 2 quotes that are there for the lift rental for the duration of the project work. So between that and the taxes, it's probably going to be closer to a total of $13,000 for the entire project once all is said and done. So they were hoping for a $3,000 grant, and then they're going to support the remaining costs.
Well, Virginia, what is our normal maximum percentage that we provide?
Project costs can't exceed 67%. So in general, we've capped a lot of them at 3,000 per property owner for the grants. To date,
Okay.
we issued 6,000 out of the 12,000 that we have as part of our annual budget.
Okay.
Okay, any other questions or comments on that?
I just have one about process for the grants, not this one specifically.
Certainly, go ahead, Sean.
Just a point of clarification. Does the grant offset costs that are already incurred, or do they receive the grant, if approved, before they spend the money?
So ideally, in order to be eligible for any grant funding from the Municipal Heritage Committee, the Heritage Committee has to approve the grant prior to work commencing and anything being paid to make sure that it's in alignment with, the heritage nature of the project. And then what'll happen is if the committee recommends this for approval, I then take a report to City Council requesting that you're recommending the grant amount. Nothing is paid until the Municipal Heritage Committee has an opportunity to inspect the work and the we see the final bills. And then at that point, there'll be issued payment for the work completed.
Okay, I've got two more questions. So one question, when does the annual grant renew?
We're on a calendar year, so it runs from January to December of each calendar year.
And is it based on a first come, first served basis generally, or?
Generally, we do usually have some funds in reserve that we can also access in the event that, say, for example, in 2020, we didn't have any grants that came through. We always have 12,000 sitting in the reserve, so 1 year's worth of grant opportunities. So some years we are able to issue a little bit more. It all depends on any given year and how many come through at that point.
Okay,
And generally, I guess generally, City Council has been kind enough to allow us to defer the grant into the next budget year. Is that correct, Virginia?
Yes, so last year, obviously with everything that was going on, we didn't have any grant projects that were taking place. So any funds that were unspent were deferred. They cap out that reserve at the amount that you're allocated on an annual basis. So our reserve is capping out at 12,000, which is our annual allocation. So we do have funds sitting in reserve in the event that we had extra applications coming forward this year.
Okay. And is that what we're, some of that reserve, is that what we're using for the calendar, the cost of the calendar?
No, that is strictly for property grants. So we have also a little bit of an operating budget that we have available to us as a committee. So we haven't had a lot of expenses incurred over the last year. So we're going to use that funds, and then the calendar sales will help replenish the additional costs for the production of the calendar.
Okay, thank you for the clarification.
Oh, you're on mute, Dean. You're taking after me right
I'm
now.
learning from you, Virginia. Thank you.
Don't learn that trick.
Any other questions or comments on the Algonquin application? Okay, then I ask for a mover, please.
I can read the resolution.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
So it would be resolved that the Sault Ste. Marie Municipal Heritage Committee approve the request to replace or to repair the brickwork as well as the painting of the Algonquin Hotel and recommend a designated heritage property grant in the amount of $3,000 to Martin Pfizer, and further that final payment be based upon the submission of paid contractors' invoices and upon a final approval of the work by the Sault Ste. Marie Municipal Heritage Committee. And further, that a report be sent to City Council for their approval.
Okay. Now I ask for a mover, please.
I can move it. It's Jamie speaking.
Okay, thank you, Jamie. And may I have a seconder?
I'll second.
Thank you, Sean. And all in favor? Okay, item 6.3, the property inspections. Boy, a year goes by pretty fast.
Well, yeah, so usually we pass this resolution in September, and then I try to coordinate the meetings, and we're always going into early October. So I thought this year I'd like to see which committee members would be interested in participating in the inspection so that I could try to get something lined up for earlier September, just because the weather does start to turn a little bit. So I'm hoping to get a little bit of a head start on the inspections this year.
And Virginia, would you like to kind of go through a bit of a description of what this entails, just for our new members so they can understand?
So each year, we have individuals that have enrolled in the Heritage Property Tax Rebate Program. As part of their enrollment in that program, we complete an inspection on the property. So they usually outline to us in their applications what work they were going to be doing, which generally comes to the committee. And then the committee has an opportunity to go out and either inspect the work that's been completed this year and take a look at the properties to see which types of work that they recommend being done in order to maintain the heritage property. That then gets compiled into a report, which we share with each of the homeowners, and a recommendation is made to council to approve or to withhold the property tax rebate based on the work that's completed. So it takes a good chunk of the day. There's 17 properties. We actually have one of our building inspectors that goes out to assist, just because they have a lot of knowledge, obviously, in that area. So it's Dean and Harvey have participated before, so they can kind of comment from, Jamie, you did it last year as well, I believe, eh? So they can kind of comment on the process and what it's like from a committee standpoint being involved with that.
Yeah, so I did it last year with Nicole Curry and Dave Elgie, I think, and it was interesting because I went into it thinking I was learning, right? Because this is something I've never done before. But we picked up a package at City Hall and that contained the report on each property from the year before. So you could look at last year's comments and they could kind of drive the comments that you're making this year. And I think there was only one property where, and then we brought our recommendations back to this committee. And I think there was only one property where there was some question of it not being approved for debt to continue being designated. So this year, you know, you'd have all that information from the previous year and you go forward. But Dave was the expert that day, for sure.
And just for your information, it's happens during a weekday usually. And for the most part, we're pretty lucky with the weather. But it makes sense, Virginia, to move it up a month and maybe a little less rainy days possibly. But anyway, what we're going to be doing is we're going to ask for volunteers from the committee to participate in this. And I must say that Virginia and her staff are quite thorough in terms of the property sheets that you get. It's quite, as Jamie says, quite educational. It's pretty neat to observe the heritage homes in the Sioux that are designated for tax rebate.
And just another point to add in, this is an exterior inspection only. So we're just going around the outside of the house. We do not go into the homes. Don't everybody jump at once.
I would participate again this year.
Dean, was that you?
Yes, and Alex, I guess, has got his hand up.
Yeah, I'm interested.
Okay. Anyone else?
There doesn't have to be 3. I just put a few spots in there.
Yeah, sometimes if we have 3, sometimes something comes up and someone can't make it that particular day.
I can do it.
Oh, Patricia. All
Okay,
right.
Patricia, thank you.
Okay, so just a mover and a seconder, Dean.
Okay,
Resolution would be resolved that the Municipal Heritage Committee appoint Dean Greenwood, Alex White, and Patricia Lofstrom to conduct the 2021 property inspections.
I'll move that. It's Matt Shoemaker.
okay, thank you, Matt. Seconder?
I'll
I'll
second.
second it.
Thanks, Alicia. Okay, we got the 3 musketeers all set. Now, item number 7 on our agenda, correspondence.
We don't have any correspondence at this time. to have on the agenda package. But I will have correspondence coming forward that just came through for our September meeting.
Okay. And item number 8, next meeting. We're going to miss each other for a couple of months, it looks like.
I'd like to make a point about the timing of the next meeting. That's before Labor Day weekend.
Yes,
And often we'd like to defer it. And if we're going to defer it, we should do it now, I think, so that all of us can plan properly. So comments there, Virginia?
Yes, thank you, Harvey. We usually are after Labor Day, and yeah, I agree with you 100%.
Okay, so it'd be September the 8th then, right?
Correct, yeah.
Yeah, at which point we will be in conflict with the Municipal Heritage Committee, with the Heritage Sites Board meeting, because they meet on the second Wednesday in September.
We'll miss you, Jamie.
Well, you'll miss you'll be missing Alicia as well, I think.
Oh,
So it might affect your quorum. You know, you might want to consider that.
We have to do rock, paper, scissors. We can decide which one we get.
yeah, we got one in the other committee, that's one.
Yeah. As long as you're sure you have quorum for your meeting, that'll be great. And the same for Kathy.
okay. Patricia, did you have anything to say?
Actually, yes, I just wanted to, now that the meeting's almost over, I just wanted to share with you, our ministry, the Francophone Affairs Ministry has a grant that is now out, and it's called the Francophone Community Grant Program. So if you are an organization or work for an organization that are trying to build capacity or trying to reach out to serve or do something with Francophone community, this would be the best grant that you could tap in right now. And it's open till the deadline to submit an application is July 15. Just came out last week. So, and if you are interested, I am your go-to person. So drop me an email if you have a project or you think your organization might qualify, you want to do something, just give me an email or a call.
Okay, thank you, Patricia.
Welcome.
All right, so it looks like our next meeting will be on September 8th. And we'll see who attends and who doesn't. Item number 9 on our agenda, we're at the adjournment already. So may I have a mover to adjourn?
Also move, Harvey.
Thank you, Harvey. And a seconder? Jamie? Okay, everyone, have a great summer. Oh, all in favor, I guess we should do and make sure we're all official then. Thank you. Thanks, Matt.
Thanks, everybody.
Have a great
Okay.
summer.
Have a great summer, everyone. Take
Okay.
care.
Everyone,
Virginia?
have a great summer.
Bye.
Bye.
Virginia,
Yes?
it's David Helwig here.
Oh,
I'm
hi.
wondering if you or Jamie could send me the, I assume at the beginning, and I was a little late coming in, you were talking about the new calendar.
Yeah, yeah.
The relevant pages related to Wawanosh and Shingwak. I'm writing some additional coverage of that today. And I'm wondering if you could, that you signed off on the copy there?
We haven't got the final proof yet. She had indicated that we're hoping to get the final document sometime in the next couple days.
But that's just formatting. The text is decided, is that?
The tech, not the text related to Shingwak.
Okay.
Part of our, and I don't know at what point you came in. Part of our discussion was obviously in light of recent events.
Yeah.
We're not sure if we should be adding anything in addition to that. So we wanted to reach back out to Chief Dean Sayers, who helped write the original text. And
Okay.
Krista McCracken, who's the curator at the Shingwak Residential School Centers, just to see if there's anything that we may need to include, or we want to make sure we're getting their input on that text to make sure that Chief Dean Sayers is still okay with everything that he originally proposed.
Oh, okay. Are both Wawanosh and Shingwak featured in the calendar, or just Wawanosh?
No, They do have Shinwalk featured in the calendar as well. I'll,
I think I don't think I need to see the text then if it's not decided, just to say that there was some discussion of whether to amend it in view of the last week's discoveries.
yes, yeah, we just want to make sure that we've looped Chief Dean Sayers back into that conversation because he did provide the text. And he did review a lot of the text throughout the entire document.
For sure.
Yeah.
So, and I'm sorry, we call that calendar what?
We just called it the Heritage Calendar. Oh, I'm gonna have to look at the title, David. Let's see what's on the cover.
Sorry. By the way, this is awkward. I don't mean to hijack you at the end of the meeting.